Are you the type of person that sometimes wants headphones in public places? Well, you might feel seen by this movie. Last night I watched The Getaway, a 2-hour, 2-minute movie from 1972 directed by Sam Peckinpah starring Steve McQueen and Ali MacGraw. I think this movie is worth watching for its sound design and editing alone. In the movie, Steve McQueen is a heist expert who is 4 years into a 10-year sentence for armed robbery, and he can't stand it. The opening credits are a masterclass in editing and sound design, and I really loved it. You could show McQueen being sad or angry in his cell or really internalize a lot of his conflict, but the director and his editors instead show his reaction to machines. This guy's ready to snap. And I'm going to go right out and say it. Steve McQueen in this movie is kind of a neurodivergent king. He's a guy that cannot stop hearing noise around him in an extremely overbearing manner, and this continues throughout the movie. And the score, done by Quincy Jones, really leans into this. It's sharp and jolting and all over the place. The whole movie feels like being in a busy grocery store, and that really plays well into the themes of jealousy and a desire for peace and settling down and wanting to age. This is a guy who desperately wants to get older. It's really quite something to hear. I love sound design, and I kind of want to rant on why movies like this suffer nowadays. Because as much as I get frustrated with so much of modern cinematography being very similar when we have room for so much variance and inspiration, I think the problem is even worse with sound design, and 3 things I can blame for this are streaming tech, streaming companies, and home theater systems. Streaming technology relies on compressing movies to send them out, and when you compress something you lose data, and when you lose data you have to sacrifice some type of quality. Not to get into all the nerd stuff with it, but generally speaking what most streaming tends to sacrifice is audio quality, color richness, and clarity in black and white scenes. And as a side note, this makes me really sad as a lover of movies from the 50s because there is a very noticeable quality difference when streaming black and white movies and the very saturated Technicolor movies of the time versus watching them on disc. But audio wise you lose a lot of narrative depth for movies like this because the grating and chattering sound design and score in this movie is key to developing the mood of its main character. 2 other things that do sound design really well in my opinion are Twin Peaks and Tenet. If you get a chance, I would really watch the disc versions of Twin Peaks, especially this scene with the record player, as well as Tenet. If you thought the streaming version of Tenet was hard to hear the dialogue in, well... Alright, everyone set? Alright, everyone set? You're in for a crazy watch on disc. But it's fascinating to hear, and I think that's part of the art of the movie. And that's not to say that you can't enjoy the movies otherwise. Far from it. I'm really not trying to be a snob at all. I think the context that you watch a movie in can be as interesting as the movie itself. But what I'm saying is, if you have the chance, there are certain movies like this where the hard-to-hear dialogue and grating sound mix is part of the point. Because I'm personally the type of person that sometimes would want headphones in public, and that's a feeling that's fascinating to see and explore up on screen. So I would recommend trying it out. Do you have any good examples of great sound design that you love in movies? Please let me know in the comments. Please like and follow, and thanks for watching.